morning, everyone, and welcome to Grindhouse, where we drink coffee, talk about movies. My name is Leah Diana, and with my boyfriend and co-host, Shawn Tetrault, we will be rewinding the tapes back to 1973. Ocho gets abducted by a Yakuza clan that uses a gang of women to smuggle drugs in their vaginas. Finding out that their kingpin had killed their last boss and abducted his daughter, Ocho joins forces with the drug mules against the clan in the follow-up to Sex and Fury, Female Yakuza Tale. Let's get into it.
Tetrault の親分さん、その証書は合田の親分さんがお借りした倍の値打ちがあります。
Spread the word, you dirty cocksuckers! Tell all your grave robbing friends of what the matter of the city now!
The nightmare of insane murder. From the depths of hell. Through the angel of death. Only at the Grindhouse.
What have you dragged us into?
To be fair, this was a recommendation on the back of the box of the last film. And it was a sequel follow-up same year to that.
So, alright, this being episode 4, we essentially, with the first two, we followed up Texas Chainsaw with Pieces, which was essentially an Spanish language Italian answer to what Texas Chainsaw brought to the genre.
Yeah.
You, for our third episode, you chose Sex and Fury, and you wanted to follow it up with its actual sequel.
An actual sequel, yes. Because I was shocked that it had a follow-up.
So this is the first time we've ever done
a back-to-back.
We're still early in the process,
Yeah.
but this is the first time we've done a back-to-back movie and then its sequel.
Yes.
We may do that again in the future. I don't know. Not a requirement.
First, let's tell the folks what we're drinking.
Before we get into this, since we recorded this episode the same day that we did Sex and Fury, we didn't want to drink any more coffee. We've had enough.
We've had
so we switched over to tea. I am drinking. I don't even know what brand this is.
It's Bigelow Apple Spice Tea.
Bigelow Apple Cider.
Apple cider.
Which Oh, it smells delicious. Oh my
Better than the
God.
coffee.
The coffee we've been drinking lately, if you haven't gathered by this point, is like just sludge.
I wish it was sludge.
This smells incredible.
And I'm drinking non-spawn David's Tea Buddha Blend. It's a bunch of different green tea, black tea, white tea. It's a very nice tea. It's very soft. It's piping hot. I did it on the highest setting.
Oh my God. This is fucking delicious.
He's gonna drink all of it on me, and all I have is like 20 bags left, and I wasn't able to get any more this year because they don't make this one.
Apple cider tea.
It is so good.
Oof.
You know what's really good? Doing that, and then making it a hot toddy with some warm whiskey, a little bit of cinnamon.
Oh, don't give me ideas.
We gotta use the apple whiskey somehow. Oh boy. So, sweetheart, love of my life, apple of my eye. I don't know if I'm using that phrase right, but whatever. What did you think of the... Well, before we get there, let's break it down. Scene by confusing scene.
Well, all right. So before we go scene by scene, today we watched Female Yakuza Tale, which is the direct follow-up to Sex and Fury. It was actually made the exact same year in 1973.
Yep.
It's another pinky violence exploitation film. I believe different director? Who directed the first one?
Oh God. I don't know.
Well, this film was directed by... No, it's definitely a different director. This film was directed by Tetrault Ishii.
Yeah, different director. Yep.
And I think it was a different cinematographer as well.
It had to be. Look how different this movie was.
Cinematographer on this was Matoyo Washo. And the cinematography on this one is vastly different than the first.
Yes.
This one, there's a lot more camera movement throughout. They utilize handheld a lot more. They actually obscure the foreground on a lot of shots, and honestly, it makes the movie more visually interesting, in my opinion.
I liked the music that accompanied almost every scene. It made sense. It was very like it was very 70s-ish.
That fucking spring music. Holy shit, it drove me crazy.
The spring music?
That it just kept coming up again and again and again, and it drove me crazy every time.
I thought it was great. I was like, yeah, we're in a 70s film, guys.
Oh, it definitely gave off the 70s
it
vibes.
Did. It was, oh boy.
Once again, this film doesn't have a lot of information out there on it. Other than who's in it, when it came out, who directed it, like there's not a lot there.
I did a tiny bit of research on the girl who's the star. So
Reiko
Iki is actually part of the Pink films. So Pink films are, the definition is broadcast sense including almost any Japanese theatrical film that would include nudity, hence the pink, or deals with sexual content. This encompasses everything from drama to action thrillers and exploitation films. So anything Pink film was everything. It included exploitation, but was not singled out too.
Well, I think pinky violence is exploitation.
Pinky violence is a type of style of the Pink film, apparently, that would get kind of vetoed. But this lady was in a huge amount. Here are just some of the titles. Hot Springs, Mimizu Geisha, Girl Boss Blues, Modern Porno Tale, Inherent Sex Mania, Girl Boss Blues Queen Bee's Challenge, Girl Boss Gorilla, which is number 3 of a 7-part Girl Boss series, They fight topless with tattoos on their boobies. That's all I can say. Terrifying Girls High School Women's Violent Classroom. Lustful Shotgun and His 21 Mistresses. Terrifying Girls High School Lynch Law Classroom.
So many of these sound like exploitation films.
Battle Without Honor and Humanity, Proximity War. Criminal Woman Killing Medley. Cops vs. Thugs. New Battles Without Honor and Humility. And all of these movies were made within 71 to 79. She starred in all of them.
Nice.
So...
It's a pretty solid career.
It is a solid career. Unfortunately... so right here it says, Reiko Iki was born, in 1953. She's an actress, singer, and entertainer, best known for her roles in the Pink films. Iki also released an album of songs in 1971. I will find this. After drug-related arrest and another arrest for illegal gambling in the 70s, so she took this movie very seriously. She dropped out of the entertainment business in 79.
Oh.
That's it.
That's unfortunate.
It is. This woman is pretty cool.
She's a good actress.
She is. After 79, there's no info on her. There's not even pictures of her. She would be 68 years old right now.
Interesting.
Yep. So I did that little bit of research, and I'm like, oh, this Girl Boss Gorilla was the only one that had a poster.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, can I find these? Out of print. All out of print. They'll be tough to find. But I am going to write these down and be on the lookout for these.
Oof.
These are cool. So this lady...
It would be cool to find some tapes of these.
Oh my god. You fucking imagine. But it looks like Pink films were really, really big in like the 70s over in Japan. And Pinky Violence was more the genre that we're looking at, that naked lady violence. And when I say fucking naked lady violence,
holy shit.
We went from just a couple of naked ladies to about 60 in one fucking scene.
Oh, we will get to that.
Ooh. So this film opens very, very beautifully, where she is basically fighting off a gang of dudes like she normally is, with a red umbrella, and it's very beautiful with the credits and the music.
Yeah, this one, like, it definitely kicks you off right in the middle of the shit.
Yeah.
Like you said, you see her, she's in this black setting. She's got an umbrella that is also a sword.
Yep. Badass, by the way.
It's pouring rain, but they also like light it from overhead so that it makes the rain look like blood.
Yeah.
It is so stylistic and so fucking sick. I think it was like meant to be like, this is what you're in for.
Yeah.
However, that's not what we got.
The movie, the camera work, the cinematography, the colors, and the general tone that they set with the way they filmed it, excellent. Light years ahead. Light years better than Sex and Fury. Light years.
Agreed.
We'll get into the story.
Well, this movie, the same way Sex and Fury did, it keeps to that no transition style.
No, there is no. It is boom, 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 boom,
like
boom. There's no stop.
After the credits, we immediately cut to our protagonist arriving somewhere.
She's on a boat. It looks like she's arriving in Kyoto.
Sure.
Because they mentioned Yokohama. They mentioned Kyobe. I believe she's in Kyoto.
She takes a rickshaw ride to some secluded place. She's almost immediately kidnapped, strung up, and sexually violated by a group of dudes.
Yep, literally. Like, in, like, boom, boom, boom. And the opening credits, the kimono is shredded off of her, and she walks away covered in blood with her ass to the camera holding the sword.
Yeah.
That's the credits, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a deeper ride.
In violating her, I guess these guys realized that my only guess was that at first it was that, oh, they realized she's not a virgin, and they like knock her out and leave her there. But later on, you find out what they were actually doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to talk about that just yet.
So, this movie's okay. There's a huge trigger warning on this one. Huge trigger.
Like bigger than
Bigger
the
than the last one. There was a rape scene right away. They violated her, and they were more graphic this time. There were hands
yes.
right up the thighs. They were like, here's her ass, here's my hand, basically in her crotch. They hid her vagina. You do
Yes.
not see frontal nudity from her, but they hid it. They hid it like, this is her vagina. It's just like, it's very, very close. Barely. And, ooh.
I guess since we're gonna have to like talk about this eventually, we'll just get it out of the way. Essentially, what the villains of this movie are doing, they're like a gang of guys that are dealing in trafficking of drugs through women.
Yep.
They're essentially using women to smuggle drugs inside themselves.
Yep.
Without getting too graphic. Throughout the movie, they're constantly reaching into women to take drugs out and put drugs in.
But the worst part of that is you're not getting any of that information till almost like over halfway through the film. There's a lot of women getting violated. There is a lot of sex. And it's not like cheap, cheesy sex that Sex and Fury was. Because that sex was, you knew it was cheesy. You knew. This was like...
It was much more raunchy.
This was actual, I'm watching the start of a porn. At one point, I was like, I'm really uncomfortable.
Well,
very uncomfortable.
That was actually one of my notes, like, that this time around, the sexual acts felt much more uncomfortable. They were more vile. The nudity and stuff was much more frequent and gratuitous.
Yes.
Like, it was...
Like, it wasn't rubbing faces on stuff. Like, dudes were full on biting nipples and, like, between their legs. And I'm like, whoa.
Well, there was that one scene where they had, like, I assume they were, like, wooden dildo type things.
Yes. And they were, like, just fitting them up. Girls, see who it fit. And now I'm thinking about it. Once you got into the thick of it, they were measuring their vaginas to see how much drugs could fit in there.
Yeah.
But when you're seeing it, you're like, these guys are sick. They're literally shoving these wooden dowel-like things anywhere between, like, this big to this big, whoop, right in there. And I'm like, oh my God.
Fucked up.
And that's where I officially went, I don't know what's happening in this film. I absolutely did not until, like, right near almost the end. I was like, I kind of get it now. Okay, all right.
Aren't you glad we're getting into graphic shit like this on episode 4?
I thought, now this one we're recording after probably 12. I think we've recorded up to 12. And I thought some of the other things we were watching were a little graphic. Oh, you win. You win their little DVD.
Honestly, like, I had a hard time following a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
This one I felt
was
much more disjointed than the first one. And the first one was pretty disjointed. I did eventually, like, kind of catch up with everything towards the end.
Towards the end, yeah, you're like, I'm up to speed.
The way it's pieced together, it's like, who the fuck are these people? What are they doing? What is going on?
Yep.
I'm trying to follow this chick the whole time.
And then you have the long black-haired chick,
and the other guy.
When I pray, I kill. That's her.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm like, who's this fucking, she kind of reminds me of Go-Go from fucking Kill Bill.
Probably another inspiration.
But I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
It was very weird.
Yes. Nope, that's my favorite phrase. I gotta save that.
Well, so at one point early on, like, we have that opening like rape scene essentially.
Yeah.
They knock her out. She then wakes up next to a dead body and some random dude. We have no idea who this guy is,
Nope.
and we aren't told who this guy is.
All we know is she was framed for killing the girl, and it's called the Crotch Gorger's murder.
By the way, that's a term that it's not Gorger either. That's a term that they brought into this movie. I think it was gouger.
Gouger.
But crotch gouging. They used that throughout this movie.
Through the whole
and
movie.
It was interesting that they brought that in. It was something different from the first one. They kind of like...
They made the first one seem like virginity was pure, virginity's good. This one, it's like, oh, mangle that pussy. She didn't do right. Just shove a knife up there and just jingle. Like, what is happening? So from there, he saves her, gets her out of there. I don't know how.
Well, we kind of leave her behind. We just follow this guy for a few minutes.
And then Go-Go, pre-Go-Go, that's what I'm calling her, long-haired girl with the hat and the cloak.
I just called her the woman in black.
The woman in black, that works. She saves the random dude.
Yeah.
And then...
She helps him escape a bunch of people that are chasing him for some reason.
We don't know who these people are at all.
No.
There are seemingly 3 bad guys.
Seemingly
3 bad guys. All right, 2 bad guys and a bad lady. That's what I'm thinking. So from there, oh my God, this movie, I cannot.
It's all over the place.
My mind is like, we see her after she gets out. She's like, I'm going to take revenge on these 3 guys that, put me through this. That's what she kept saying. It wasn't, they didn't allude to like, oh, they raped me. It was the people that put me through this. I kind of like how that's worded.
So do I. I think it's very...
Yeah.
It speaks to people.
I don't want to say this
better.
one was like... I don't want to say rape after that one scene, because there really wasn't anything like that. It was
violation.
One shocking scene.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it was definitely consensual. Like, there was a lot of consensual.
Yeah, because a lot of that is like...
They look like they were ladies of the night, some of those girls.
Some of them... I'm sure were. Others are like they're addicted to drugs and they're being fed drugs to like keep them compliant.
Did you notice where they were putting the drugs?
In their breasts.
They also were taking vials, like breakable vials, and putting them inside them too.
Oh, those were breakable?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yep. I was like, wait a minute, that's a breakable vial. Because if you don't inject them then to smuggle them out, you're not going to hand them a drug.
Yeah.
They put it in there, they can just... I'm just like,
Jesus
this is
Christ.
like... Yeah, and they were injecting the drugs in the boobs. That was really weird. My breasts hurt
which
from this
doesn't exactly make any sense because that's all fatty
that's
tissue.
A lot of fatty tissue. I mean, if you're going to do that, you want to get somewhere where there's a vein.
Yeah.
I mean, there's veins in there, but you're going to hit something else. I don't know. Maybe it was just to emphasize the titties are out.
That point, where after the woman in black saves the random dude.
Yeah.
That is literally where I like stopped trying to keep a track record of what was going on.
Yeah, I literally was like, "Oh, this sex scene's nice."
This movie, so from here I kind of just started to like take notes about like what this movie was doing.
Yeah.
So like this movie deals a lot in like, I don't know if they were doing sex trafficking as well, but it was like drug smuggling, all this stuff.
It seemed like prostitution more than sex trafficking.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I thought that this was an interesting place to take that character because the main character.
Yeah, because her revenge is done in the first one.
Yeah.
What would you do next?
We wrap up her whole story, her whole life goal in the first movie. So like this one, it's almost like she steps into like a vigilante detective kind of role. Like maybe they were trying to make a franchise character out of her, like a Sherlock Holmes or Indiana Jones. Like kind of each movie would be a different story that she gets caught up in,
like a dirty 007 kind of thing.
Yeah, and I thought that was an interesting way to go. Like I think it would have been cool to see a whole series with this character.
But I can see why it never took off.
Oh, definitely. It doesn't have the full potential. But I just thought it was a cool way to go. I wish I could have seen this character in further films.
Yeah.
This one just didn't work. Not in the long run, at least.
Like, I'm not even gonna wait until like the end. This movie, like, where Sex and Fury was cheesy, the story was amazing. The film and the look is amazing, but the story is fucking garbage. I don't know, like, you don't start to understand till you're well at the end, and then you're like, oh, I know who he is now. I get who he is. Like, you're taken to the next scenes after that are the lady in black, and the dude that saved Ochi are in a hotel room or like a thing above a hotel or something. And he was like, oh, I haven't been with a lady in 5 years. He starts to undress, and she literally is half naked, pulls a sword out of the back of her fucking neck that just retracts, threatens him a couple of times, like, all right, I'm bye. I'm like, what just happened?
Well, all right. So that, first of all, that was an interesting thing that they did this time. They played more with like unique weapons, and like that thing was like a
it was like this big.
It was like a tape measure blade that like retracted. And then like later on you see like a girl that has like claw things on her
like
fingers.
the big claw fingers.
And not to mention the umbrella blade in the beginning.
Yep.
But this movie, it follows a similar dynamic to the first one. So like with you have this secondary story running parallel to hers, where with this guy, I don't think I ever figured out who the hell that guy was.
He was someone who was close to the old boss of the Oji clan. So he and the old boss were friends, but he got into a bad deal and got sent to prison, but the new boss killed the old boss and blamed it on him. Yeah, that's the part I got by the end.
Well,
that he was the old boss looking to find he was the old boss's like second in command, looking to find the daughter of the old boss to overthrow the new guy who killed her father.
All right.
Like, it honestly, like, that was the plot line I followed. Fuck everything else. I don't know. That was the one I paid attention to.
I paid attention to hers.
Yeah. She was confusing, so.
So, like, you have him and the girl in black, and then her plot, the main character's plot line.
Yeah.
Which is similar to the first one, where you had the Romeo and Juliet story and hers.
Yeah.
Her revenge tale. It also, it wasn't until you learn about, I don't know what he was, you start to delve into flashbacks of her past a little bit.
Yeah.
And you meet, like, the old guy that, like, took her in,
the
I guess.
old boss, and then you meet Big Tiger.
That was the old boss?
That was the old boss, yes.
And you meet Big Tiger in the flashback, who then becomes important.
One of the bigger important characters at the end.
So it's like, oh, okay, this is a personal revenge story, too. For a different reason.
She just happened to be like, oh, I have a chance to fuck him up? Awesome. Like, that's where that story, it wasn't a basis of this, but it was definitely here's a subplot, you know?
Which, I don't know, I was glad it didn't have no connection to that revenge element, because that's kind of her character.
Yeah, she's very much the second title for this is, where did I put it? Inquisition and Torture. Makes sense.
Okay. That would have been cool.
That makes sense, but it sucks that it didn't really stick.
Yeah.
Farther into it. So after all that, we see Ochi go to the harbor where she got taken again, find one of the girls that pickpocketed and was like, take me to your boss. Because she realized they're connected. She then...
It's wind.
Sorry, wind just scared me. I thought there was a big scary monster next to me and it was going to eat me. So it was really hard to follow this. But she grabs one of the girls, tells her, take me to your boss, go to the boss. This is where we see the prostitution girl. She's looking in being like, oh, I'm single. I haven't had a guy in a while. And she's just, we have 2 minutes or 3 minutes each QB, and there's 3 of them, just staring at these people having sex. And I'm just like, we're on this for too long. They can see you. Run away. Like, that was much. But then we go down to we meet Boss Lady, who runs all of the pickpocketing girls. She meets her. There's a confrontation. Girls pop out of the walls. There's a fight. She sets fire to the place. And she takes one of the girls hostage to get information. It takes a little while, but when she says, I'm going to go up there and, crotch gouge you, she says, stop. We don't know why. Now we know she has drugs up there.
Yeah.
So gouging it would have been really bad. Tells her all the information, and she's like, oh, cool. This is where you lose me, because the information she got, how did that connect to the old clan that she used to run with? I don't get how that connected. It never said it.
No. I feel like there was a lot of just take it on faith in this movie.
Yeah.
This movie also has a much wackier overtone than the first one. First one felt very serious.
Yeah.
This one,
they were pushing an envelope at some point, and we lost them.
You got a dude throwing bullets with his bare hands and penetrating people's flesh.
That was fucking sick, though.
He shoots the hat. You got a guy that shoots the hat off of another guy and shoots the mustache off of another dude.
And it lands on the girl. And she's like, oh.
We have the weird, there's like a child torture scene that has like mimes in the background.
Okay, I got that one because I was following that storyline. So when when the new boss killed the old boss, he put the daughter into a psych ward.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody put her into a psych ward, and that was a crazy place because they didn't want people to find her because she would have been able to take over the gang where he couldn't. So they were looking for her. Oh my God, there's so much. The dude who got saved by the lady in black was looking for the daughter. So he found the information, she's being hidden here. The new boss killed that little girl before they could find her because that was his whole goal, was to find the boss's daughter. That was it. That was his whole goal.
That much I got.
Yeah.
But it was just like, you could have done that in any way. You got these weird mime
and they're
girls
like screaming and crying and dancing and voguing in the corner, and one's
so
dressed
weird.
like an opera singer. Like, what?
And
I'm like, here's this little girl in a nightgown getting tortured. She bites a dude's finger off, and they're electrocuting her, and she's just rolling on the ground. I'm like, I honestly thought that was going to be, when they started it, I was really fucking nervous that was going to be a violation scene. I might have to walk away from this.
They skipped out on that, thank God.
Yes. They went right to electrocuting her.
They straight up kill a child.
They kill a little girl.
Kudos. Not many movies have the guts to do it.
But what benefit to the plot line was that? I mean, okay, yeah, she was the old boss's daughter, and she would have claimed the gang.
But it pushes that guy over the edge.
It does. He's literally gone at that
That's
point.
the reason. Which, I get it. By the way, this jumps ahead a little bit, or actually jumps back a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's a gross out moment in this movie, for me.
Which one?
Where we watch a girl literally snot rocket into a dude's mouth.
I'm gonna throw up.
It was so fucking nasty.
Oh my God. She's walking across a bridge with planks that are loose, and you can see up her skirt and you see her panties. And this guy's like, and she just goes, pervert. She screams, hentai, like that, and just, oh my God. We both went, whoop. We lost it.
Oh my God.
It was just, that's gross. Bullet in the eye dude was awesome. And up the nose. Shot the mustache. Yeah, blew a booger in his mouth. That was gross.
This all does build up to another well-executed gambling sequence.
Yes, it does.
That, like, it edits really well. Builds some tension, just like in the first movie. This one's a little shorter and ends with her stripped naked and cutting off Scarface's finger.
Because he said, wait a minute, that plays too perfect, you cheated. She's like, no, I didn't. So when she takes off her kimono, she flips the other cards up and they get stuck in the ceiling and no one notices because her kimono flies off.
Yeah.
So she's standing there stark naked, proving I have nothing to hide, when she literally, you watch her flip those cards into the ceiling, and I'm like, damn. Also, really sick that she beats the dude and she's like, I didn't lie. I'm not cheating. I want 2 of your fingers. This is the same dude who cut off her mentor's fingers because she cheated.
It's a little bit of a revenge moment.
It's a little bit of a flashback to the first movie where the boss said, cheat for me, and the guy's like, oh, I didn't tell you to cheat, kill him. Where if this boss told her, yes, cheat, and he was like, nope, she's just a child, take my fingers, which to me says you can cheat, but if you get caught, I'll take the fall for you. You're a child, don't do this again. He pretty much tells her, don't do this, go live a good life.
And I found it funny that she became like the best gambler in the fucking world.
She did. She became the, well, in Japan at least.
Yeah.
But at that scene, I laughed because there was a scene where she cuts off the first finger, and then I guess his wife comes up and says, woman to woman, don't cut off the middle finger for me. And I laughed so hard. I'm like, oh, so that's your diddling finger. Got it. He's not going to be doing anything to you if she just cut both of these fingers off.
It was really funny.
But I'm laughing going, there's just a little bit of crude humor that makes sick fucks like you and I go, that was funny. Oh, God.
Honestly, like, my next batch of notes here is all about the finale.
I mean, there were a few things where, there was a lot of sequences about, and this is where you lost me. So, Boss Lady's girls, which were the prostitutes is what I believe, were smuggling drugs. Then there were other ladies that went back and forth on the boats, fancy dressed, that belonged to the woman in black, that were also smuggling drugs.
Yes.
And then there were another set of ladies that showed up at the finale that I'm not understanding where the fuck they came from.
I don't know. I can't fully explain a lot of the things in this movie. It's very all over the place.
It was a lot. And the thing that kind of lost me was the actual drug smuggling storyline. There was a lot of emphasis. There was a lot of meeting. There were a lot of pulling drugs out, putting drugs back in, giving them drugs, sending them on their way, lots of nudity, lots of stuff that I was like, are all three of there are like 3 or 4. Are all of these necessary?
Well, it's not even, are they necessary? It's like, there's no connective tissue anywhere. No. So it's like, it isn't until the end where you have, like, the new boss, and then the gang that's been smuggling the drugs all coming together, but they make their deal right there.
Yep.
They're not connected before that.
No, they're not.
It's like, what do these fucking stories have to do with each other?
The OG gang was smuggling drugs for Big Tiger.
Yeah. But
they were intercepted by the 3 dudes who were changing out the real drugs for
fake
drugs. So the girls were being played on both fronts. And then by the time they met and they said, oh, all the drugs are here, they were like, cool, let's kill all the girls. And all the girls were like, what? So they were being used and going to get killed off by the end. But then, 60 people show up from grates, from ceilings, from windows, from banisters.
This fucking finale is ridiculous. It basically, the movie builds to this finale that's a battle scene between the drug trafficking gangs and
the chicks.
The nude women.
When I say nude, they all got naked.
They all stripped naked.
Except for the lady in black, the boss lady, and Ochi. Ochi just did her one-arm thing out.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. The rest of the girls were stark fucking naked and had what appeared to be the cheapest X-Men weapons.
Oh my God.
Like, one had a claw, one had a club, one had, like, something that she pulled out of her, like, her side. Another girl was, like, killing people with bombs. They pulled bombs out of something and they're blowing shit. I'm like, where did the bombs come from?
I will say that this ending,
it was a sick ass scene.
This ending was awesome.
This was sick.
It's where things got brutal. People were getting killed violently left and right. Fucking one guy gets beaten and pissed on by a bunch of women.
He gets beaten to death, and then circle of women just pissing on him. The two of us looked at each other, and that's where the moment I went, all right, this movie's never being viewed by us again.
Oh, my
Glad
God.
I own it. It's going to get put away.
It was hilarious.
Wow. That definitely ticks a different box in the exploitation right there.
Yeah.
Pissing.
I mean, fucking numerous dudes get shot or stabbed in the dick in this scene.
Oh, God. What about the girl with the chunky heel that just goes, whoa, right to his junk? I saw your face at that point. I was like, oh, that sucks.
I did like that there's a moment in here. It's short-lived, but I thought it was pretty badass and kind of suspenseful, where you see Ochi, Ochi face off against Big Tiger.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. They have like a sword fight,
yes.
and she's like coming at him, killing guys on her way to him.
Oh my God.
It was really cool. It was just so all over the place and wild.
And by the end, like, okay, the scene where everybody's like coming out revealing, all I can think of is, I have the upper hand. No, I have the upper hand. No, I have the like literally they were one-upping each other the entire time. So by the end of all this, it is her with a new kimono on, clean, no blood anywhere, bright color, walking away with all these naked ladies.
Well, I think that ending, it was fitting. It was like essentially them walking into the sunset.
Yes.
But I think it was supposed to match the ending of the first one, where it was like that slightly dreamy thing where, like, in the first one she's walking into the dark with the cards falling. In this one, it's like I think she's coming out of the darkness. She's done.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was a nice finale for the character. But it didn't feel enough like a finale for it to be over.
It felt like I'm walking to the sunset until our next problem.
Yeah, which never got to see the light of day.
Because, you know what? And my final note is, ooh.
Oh, God. Oh, I can't. No, we'll get into my next thought in the questions, but
okay.
I don't know. This movie, I feel bad because I feel like this is going to be a short episode, because there
wasn't much substance.
There wasn't much substance, and it was really hard to follow.
Yes.
I wanted this one to be as good as the first one, but I'll say right now it was not.
Cinematically, it was beautiful.
Visually, it was better.
Visually, it was much, much better than the first. The background music, the visuals, the style, the costuming. Like, it was good looking. The story sucked. And I'm so sad because I spent $35 on this DVD.
I'm glad we own it.
I do. I'm real glad we own this, but oh man, it just, oh God.
Overall thoughts.
This is a disappointment, but not as disappointing as it could have been. It could have been terrible. It's a cute little follow-up. I'm definitely glad I own it because I've always loved Sex and Fury. One of my favorite top 10 movies. I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't love it. This one's definitely like, I love this movie. Did you know there's a sequel? Yeah, it's over there in the box in the corner with the cobwebs. It's there. I have it. Don't watch it. It's not great. It's okay for the time, for the pink films, for the, pinky violence. Cool.
I definitely agree. This movie was quite the disappointment.
Yeah.
Following Sex and Fury. I don't hate it. I think it's got a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
I wanted something more. I wanted something better. I like that it tries to further Ochi's story.
Yeah.
It tries to develop her a little more. It tries to bring her into a place where she could have been a female action character that had her own franchise.
Basically a female Yakuza.
Yeah.
Female badass. Yes.
But
it makes sense.
It didn't quite live up, so it didn't go further than this. I think it would have been cool to see that character go further,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, this killed her.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't know, I just wish it was better.
Yeah.
I just wish it was more. Favorites?
So, my favorite line is, "Your pussy is gonna catch a cold." Whenever the girls were naked in front of the, like, that dude, the detective, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
He said that. He goes, "Your pussy's gonna catch a cold." Like, you could see he had a little respect for the women. Like, oh, cover up. Oh, you know.
She turns that around on him at one point.
She does.
When he's sitting on top of, like, the train car.
Yeah.
He's got, like, his flies undone. She says something along the lines of, like, your friend's gonna catch a cold.
Oh, my God. And then what was the other line? There was another line that made me laugh. I don't know where it is, but definitely that was that was the one. Favorite scene is the fight. The fight was pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. Story disappointing, but they did put a lot of thought into doing the graphic nudity, or just the nudity and the violence right. I thought it was pretty cool that even though the girls were naked, even though it's an exploitation film, they were actually fighting. They were actually, like, going at it. Like, it was cool. It was really cool. And just, there were lots of naked booby ladies, and I liked it. It was very nice. I fit my quota for naked ladies for a little while. I'm good. Oh boy. How about you?
I think I only have two. I don't have any favorite lines. None of them stood out to me enough, but I think I have two favorite scenes, and one of them is the very first opening credit scene, just because it was visually gorgeous, and the other is the ending fight scene.
Yep.
Like, it was awesome. That ending fight, comes almost out of left field and just throws everything at the fucking wall, and everything sticks.
Yeah.
One particular moment that I fucking, inside I was dying, was you see the guy, the random dude, he grabs the big glass thing of cocaine or whatever the hell it is, and he fucking, like, throws it on top of another dude, and, like, you see it it's one shot. He picks up, he throws it out of frame, and it bursts open on the ground, and, like, he just throws it down, and it just comes back up in his face.
Oh my God.
I was just dying. Oh man, that was absolutely hilarious.
That was funny.
Does it work?
No, it doesn't. It's not cohesive enough. It's missing stuff. The story, it could have been a cool story. It could have. They really needed to sit down and flesh it out more. Visually, this movie is beautiful. Story-wise, this movie sucks.
I agree. This doesn't work. I think they had a lot to live up to with the first movie. First movie is really well done.
It seems like it might be a cult classic kind of movie.
The first one?
It feels like it might be, but I don't know enough about it.
I think it could be if it's not.
Yeah.
This one, it just didn't do enough to live up to that. It tried. It definitely attempted.
Tried hard.
It pushed the envelope from the first one. It tried to up the nudity, up the sex, up the violence in some ways. I think the first one was more violent, personally.
Yeah.
There was more, like, murders throughout. This one was, like, beginning and end. But I don't know. This one, I think, tried to be more of an intricate, mystery than the first one. But
it's more like a thriller.
Yeah, it just didn't stick the landing.
No. And
I'm going to tell you right now, I personally wouldn't recommend it to anyone. If you're into exploitation, sure,
give it a go.
You might like it for what it is, but nobody else. You're not going to like this. It's not enjoyable.
Unless you have specific expectations that you want to fill, graphic nudity, kind of graphic nudity, kind of graphic violence, you know, a pissing kink. Ugh. Oh
Yeah.
God, like the boogie. I don't know. Like we're going with like this one's weird. This one's weird, but I can guarantee you this is not the weirdest we're ever gonna touch.
No,
This is
gonna
nowhere
be worse.
near the weirdest. This is like opening the door a crack and going, "Hey, you want to come in?" Like this is. And I don't want to shit on this movie because I like cheesy, campy movies like this. This is great.
Yeah.
I would recommend this if you guys are getting drunk or high on a Saturday night and all of you and your friends are like, "Oh, what should we watch?" And you go, "You ever heard of this bullshit?" That's where you watch it.
You see, though, I feel like even trying to watch this with a group, the whole thing leading from the beginning opening scene to the end is going to be so dull that nobody's...
But that's the beauty of a movie like this. This is why you MSTK 3000 shit like this. You get with a group of people, you make fucking stupid comments about this shit.
I guess, yeah.
Like have a contest. How many people get killed in this movie? Good luck. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of death in this movie.
You could do a drinking game every time somebody shows a tit.
Dude, we do not condone this because you will have alcohol poisoning. Hard.
Oh my God.
I mean, I didn't hate it. I won't watch it again unless somebody goes, "What's this?" I'll be like, "I'll sit there to watch your reactions."
How would you do this today?
Put it on the shelf. Don't touch it again. Nope. It could have elements that you put into the limited series that we said about Sex and Fury, like her background stuff.
Yeah.
It could add some of that story, but you're a timeless classic. Go on the shelf. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this really needs to happen again. Like, the background elements about Ochi were really cool. Like, it kind of filled in a small part of the time between when she was a little girl and saw her dad die to her revenge.
Her revenge story.
Like, you get a little bit of backstory in there, which is nice. Like, I like to learn a little bit more about her, which I think you would flesh out in a limited series anyway.
Yeah.
But this particular current story is just fucking needless. It doesn't...
And if they were planning on putting more of a story emphasis to this, like more stories, more craziness, it would make sense in a limited series as a whole. Like, instead of 6 episodes, make it 12. Include the backstory. Include a touch of this case that she had to work on. Or, you know, if she really is a female Yakuza, touch on this part of when she was in the Yakuza, when she was, you know, taking care of this dirty business that she had to get rid of, kind of thing. I know the Yakuza is like the Japanese mafia, so I'm not really sure.
This really doesn't have anything to do with the Yakuza.
I don't know why it's called female Yakuza.
Goes without saying, but is this exploitation or other?
Oh, definitely. This is more exploitation than the other one, I feel like, at some points.
At some point, this definitely ups the ante on the exploitation elements. All the ones that were present in the first movie, this one doubles down.
Oh, yeah. Makes it so much worse. Like, whoa.
It just narratively doesn't live up. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Most most sequels don't live up.
When someone make a comment, or answer in the comments, what sequels do you think actually are better than the first ones?
Oh, I can give you a couple right now.
What are your opinions?
Personally, T2 for one.
I've not seen it.
T2,
but I'll believe it. Foreshadowing.
Despite the fact that I like the original Terminator better, that's a personal preference. Objectively, Terminator 2 is a far better film. In a lot of ways, the same goes for Alien. I like Alien better, but Aliens, just based on pure filmmaking, is a better film narratively. Like, so the first, I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent, but the first Alien is like a slasher in space or a monster movie in space. The second movie turns the whole thing to a completely different genre. It becomes like an action monster movie, with way more characters. It does a lot more than the first one ever did. So technically, it's better. There's a lot of instances like that where like sequels are Mission Impossible. The second Mission Impossible is a far better movie in a lot of ways than the first one, just by pure filmmaking. Like, the second one's made by John Woo, so it's not even fair to the first movie, but...
Okay, alright.
There's a lot of cases like that where the second one is just better.
I will say the only instance I have is Empire. I believe Empire is a stronger movie than The Last Hope. But in The Last Hope, you're introducing all the characters. Empire, you're bringing the real drama.
Before you piss anybody off, it's a new hope.
Look...
You know you're going to piss somebody off.
I've been a Star Wars fan all of my life. I'm just shortening the names because I'm dumb. Leave me alone.
You'll know we'll get a comment.
It's going to be Andy, too.
It'll be
Andy's going to be like...
LaRue.
Andy's going to be like, God. Guys, we need to talk next time we hang out. What's another sequel, like a follow-up that... Okay, here's one. I think I like Twin Towers a little bit more than I like The Fellowship.
I mean, I agree.
For the pure fact of... Now, I'm just including... I'm including seconds. Like, we know The Return of the King is the better one out of all three. But Two Towers starts you off with where the story left off and leaves you on one hell of a cliffhanger. Like, it's gorgeous.
Technically?
Yeah.
Devil's Rejects. Better than House of a Thousand Corpses. Technically.
I like House of a Thousand Corpses
So do I.
better.
I like House of a Thousand Corpses
I'll have to watch
better.
it again because I've only seen... Have we watched Three from Hell yet?
I have.
You have? I haven't yet.
I saw it in theaters.
Oh, that's right. You did see it in theaters. I need to see Three from Hell.
Yes.
I've seen A House of a Thousand Corpses. I don't really remember Devil's Rejects that well. There was a scene where he's like killing somebody by a fence. Is that Devil's Rejects?
I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's work.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that is the second one. It's good. I like it. I need to watch them again. I personally think the second Nightmare on Elm Street is more amusing than the first one. First one's scary. Don't get me wrong. I've only seen it once.
I'm sorry, what movie?
The second Elm Street one.
Oh, okay.
What do you think I said? I probably said it wrong.
No, it's just the way you said it, like, very muddled.
Ghostbusters 2. I like Ghostbusters 2 more than I like the first one.
You like Vigo the Carpathian?
Oh my
better?
God, Vigo is amazing.
I'm sorry, but no. You can't.
I'll fight you.
I will.
Vigo is more terrifying than Gozer, who's just like, "Hey guys, I popped out of the thing and I made marshmallow. Bye." No.
I like the first
Vigo
one way
is
better.
terrifying. Terrifying.
I
That
like.
man looks like a fucking 13th century duke on crack.
I like both Ghostbusters movies equally. I think, overall, but I don't know. I just enjoyed Gozer better than Vigo.
Nope, Vigo all the way. I don't go in museums because Vigo scares me that much.
Oh Jesus!
Yes. And at one point, somebody was selling a replica painting of the Vigo on like Etsy or something, and I saw it and I was like, no.
That would have been cool.
No. I stand firmly with no gremlins, no Vigo, no critters.
We're getting gremlins.
No.
And we're getting critters.
Joe already scares me when we come in the house. When I wake up in the middle of the night to pee, and I'm like, oh, there's a skeleton sitting on the chair.
Joe ain't gonna hurt anybody.
The only thing he's gonna hurt him is himself. All that caffeine and fucking sun. I had to put the shades on him. I don't know a lot of like movies with sequels.
Most sequels are worse than the originals.
They are because like there's a lot of hype when you have a movie so good, the first one, and then you're like, there's gonna be a sequel. How terrified are you that Hocus Pocus 2 is gonna suck?
Extremely. Like, I have very little faith that it's gonna be as good as the original.
I mean, if it's as good or better than the original, that'll be amazing. I'm happy that all three ladies are re-signed up for it. That puts a little more faith in it. But it's like, how are Hocus Pocus 2, like, it's being filmed here in our state.
We've gone on a tangent.
We have, because I'm pretty sure this episode is so short, and I feel bad.
It's
because
a
we were
little
like,
under.
nope, this sucks. Bye.
Yeah, do you have any final thoughts about this film?
It's gonna go over there.
She has thrown it.
I didn't throw it far. I don't want to damage the cover because it's already busted a little.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my final thoughts would be...
Enjoy your home on the bookshelf where you will remain.
Yeah, I'm glad we own this movie.
Yes.
I don't think we'll ever really watch it again.
We can say we've watched it. We've watched it together. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. It's not one that really... if this got a Blu-ray release ever, I would hope it would just be a double pack.
I hope so too.
It'd be Sex and Fury
They'd be
and
like, oh, Sex and
this
Fury's
one.
on DVD. Oh, Shawn, Female Yakuza Tales is on a separate DVD Blu-ray.
I mean, technically Battle Royale 2 got a...
I've never
Blu-ray
seen the
release.
second one. I'm so mad we can't cover Battle Royale. Because that's the movie that we watched on our first fucking date.
I know, but...
So mad. We're going to have to, foreshadowing, we're going to have to plan viewings somehow for special movies.
That would be nice, but we'll have to figure
But we
out.
have no plan right
Yeah,
now at the moment.
we'll
But
have to
all I
figure
know
that
is
out.
there are several movies that are out of our wheelhouse in the 2000s and on. We would love to talk about. Some of these movies are like, this movie's so bad we need to talk about it. Or this movie's so... Like, one of the movies I would love to talk to you about on this podcast is Rubber.
Oh, fuck, that
Fucking
would be
Killer
fun.
Tire.
Have you ever seen that?
I have never seen Rubber. Never.
Oh, man.
I need to see Rubber.
If we can figure out a way to do more modern stuff somehow, like break our own rules, that would definitely be one we would cover.
Oh my god. Just the fact that when I pulled that up on Netflix and like, in a world where a killer tire rat has telekinesis, I went, that's it, stop, hold the phone. Who's the genius that came up with this bullshit?
He actually did a new movie.
Did he? Is it
Yep.
Rubber 2?
No, something completely different, and I want to see it so bad.
Oh no.
But yeah, that pretty much wraps up our conversation about female Yakuza Tale.
Inquisition and torture.
Don't go anywhere just yet. Stay tuned for the coming attractions.
Go. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
This is the Self-Preservation Society. This is the Self-Preservation Society.
We are about to do a job in Italy. It's a very difficult job, and the only way to get through it is we all work together as a team. And that means you do everything I say.
From your place of meat, run upon the secrets. This is the Self-Preservation Society. This is the Self-Preservation Society. Gotta get 'em moving, move on. Jump in the jump job, gotta get straight. Hurry up, late, it's gonna be late. And now it's your father. Gotta get moving.
Now, what would you like?
Everything.
Self-Preservation Society. This is the Self-Preservation Society. Jump in the jam jar, gotta get straight. Hurry up,
Try putting your foot down, Tony. They're really getting rather close. Hang on a minute, lads. I've got a great idea.
So, we are thankfully taking a detour, but we're staying in the 70s.
Yes. So I remember watching The Italian Job with a friend of mine in the theater. And I was like, oh, this is a cute movie. I like this. This is fun. I don't like car movies. I don't like action movies. You know that. Like, there are some action movies I'm like, man, I'm not watching this.
Well, this one's a classic.
That's why, and the only reason why I want to see it is Michael Caine.
I fucking love Michael Caine.
I love Michael Caine. First time I ever saw him was Muppet Christmas Carol, though.
Michael Caine is awesome in basically everything that he's ever done.
Sir
Michael Caine. Oh God, I'm excited to watch this. This is one that I've always liked. I always thought it was cool.
It looks actiony. It looks jam-packed. Will it be like the remake that they did in the 2000s?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I mean,
no. I think that movie took a different turn.
Well, let's
no
see.
pun intended.
Yeah, huh? Let's see what the original looks like. Woo!
But that brings this episode to an end. For more recommendations on films or coffees that you should check out, if you want to see our movie collection, if you want to suggest us some movies, check out some behind the scenes, visit us on Facebook and Instagram at Grindhouse Podcast. We're on Twitter at GrindhouseCast. We have a Discord that Leah runs. You can talk to her over there. That's also Grindhouse Podcast.
Yep.
All that information on where you can find us and chat with us is down in the show notes. Listen to us and give us 5 stars on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you get your morning fix. New episodes are coming out every Monday morning, so stay tuned. Look forward to what's coming next. If you are enjoying what we're doing and you want to give us your support, all that information is down below as well. Until next week, I'm Shawn.
I'm Leah.
Thank you for listening, and keep watching.
Bye, kids.